So the next part of this review is going to be something that you might have heard before. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now, what is this used for? Whenever you type something into your calculator, so let's say that in your calculator you type in 2 plus 3 times 1 minus 4 divided by 2. So you type that in your calculator, and your calculator spits out an answer. How did it do it? So what did it do first? And then what did it reduce it to? So the way in which we know what to do first is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now what does this mean? It means the first thing your calculator is going to look for are any parentheses. So in this problem that we have above, we're going to answer this as we go along. Do I have any parentheses? Absolutely not. Don't have any parentheses. Move this down here. Next thing your calculator is going to look for are exponents. We're going to talk a little bit later about exponents, but for now, you probably know what an exponent is at least. Do I have any exponents in this problem? I do not. Now I'm going to lump these two together because they're kind of done at the same time. Next we have multiplication and division. So go back to our problem. Do I have any multiplication or division? I do. I have multiplication there and I have division there. So your calculator is going to do those first. So let's see what I get here. I get 2. 3 times 1 is just 3. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. See how we did that? So I did the 3 times 1 became my 3. So there's that. And the 4 divided by 2 became my 2. It's getting a little messy, but I think it's okay. And then lastly, these two again are going to be lumped. We have addition and subtraction. So let's go left to right. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 minus 2 is going to be 3. So there's my final answer. So we're going to do parentheses first, exponents, multiplication, division at the same time, addition and subtraction at the same time. So let's do some examples. So let's say that I have 3 plus 1 squared minus 5 times 1 plus 8 divided by 4 times, not 0. That would be bad. Just 8 divided by 4. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Up first, parentheses. Do I have any? I do. Got some parentheses right there. 3 plus 1 is 4, so I get 4 squared minus 5 times 1 plus 8 divided by 4. Up next, exponents. I do have an exponent. Got an exponent here. 4 squared is 16. So far, so good. Next, do I have any multiplication or division? Multiplication here, division there. So I'll get 16 minus 5 times 1 is 5. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then lastly, addition and subtraction. So let's see, 16 minus 5 is 11, plus 2 gives me 13. So if you were to go and type this first line into your calculator, it's going to give you 13. Now why do we need this? Well, we need kind of a standard on how to evaluate algebraic expressions, or numerical expressions rather. If we didn't, then different calculators would give you a different answer. So we need kind of a standard to say, this is the order in which we do things so that we all get the same answer. Because if we didn't, well, maybe you would subtract the 5 first and then multiply by 1, or something like that. We all need to go by the same rules. Because if we don't, then we're not going to get the same answer. So that's why we really care about this. Now let me do one more. Let's say that I have, since we are so good at fractions now, let's say I have something like 4 plus 1 divided by 10 minus 0.5 times 8. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. What do I do first? Parentheses. Do I have any parentheses? Well, at first it looks like no, But the thing is, we don't write parentheses sometimes when we need them. They're understood to be parentheses around that numerator. We don't write them, but it's understood that they're there. So we do need to take that in consideration. So that's really 5/10 minus 0.5 times 8. Now what? Well, let's see. No exponents, so we can skip over that. Multiplication and division. I got multiplication right there. 0.5 times 8. Well, that's 1/2 times 8, which is 4. And now what do I have? Well, I got 5 over 10 minus 4. How are we going to do that? Well, we did fractions before. I need to convert these. So let's see. What's something that both... Oops, sorry about that. Write this as 4 over 1. We need something that both 10 and 1 go into. Well, I think 10 is probably a good choice. The first fraction, not going to change anything. The second fraction, though, what do I need to multiply by? 10 over 10. Again, why did I do that? In order to subtract fractions, if you go back, we need to have a common denominator. Well, when you don't have a denominator, you write a 1, and then my new common denominator was 10. So I get 5 minus 40, that's negative 35 over 10. And then let's see, 5 goes into both of those, so I get negative 7 over 2. And there's going to be my final answer. If you want to check this in your calculator, I mean, negative 7 over 2 is negative 3.5. You can double check it, but I think we're good. Now, be careful when you type this in your calculator. You do need to add these parentheses. So maybe select those. You do need to add these parentheses whenever you type it in your calculator. Otherwise, it doesn't know. We don't write them on paper, but it's understood that they're there. So that's Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. Just be aware of what you need to do first in a numerical expression. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of stuff wrong, and you're not going to know why your calculator is getting a certain answer. So you definitely want to be careful with that.